Good afternoon, race fans, and welcome to Today at the Races at Laurel Park on this fabulous Saturday. I'm Tim Tullock. I'm joined by Keith Fustel. And Keith,
yes.
We took some abuse with the weather last week. We lost a couple days of racing, but wow, we got rewarded this week because it's been tremendous weather.
It's been beautiful. I thought you were saying we're going to take some abuse for our picks.
We might. That might happen.
No.
That happens every day.
They can't get mad at us yesterday. We had the middle pick 4, so that was good. $380 for a $36 investment. Hopefully you were along for the ride. But, yeah, the weather's been beautiful. What a gorgeous day today. And we've got a little special event going on this afternoon, I know, as well. So,
yeah, we do have a special event. We're going to get to that here a little bit. Yesterday, big day here, Stronach 5 yesterday, and we had 14 winners. I didn't write it down, of course, but there you go. They paid just over $2,000, and favorites, really, basically, your highest price winner was Leg D, a $10.80 horse there, but still paid out pretty good, $2,700.
You know, you're talking even money, 8-5, a 2-1. You throw in there a little 4-1 shot, you're getting $2,700. That Stronach 5 just offers a ton of value with that 12% takeout.
It certainly does, and it's always fun. A big day here yesterday. Doubles for Trevor McCarthy and Julio Correa. Now, that's getting a little interesting as the meet starts to wind down. The only 4 wins separates McCarthy and Correa. It's 24-20 right now. And Correa, they've both been riding great form, but Correa got close the other day, and then McCarthy doles out 3 on Thursday and a couple yesterday. But that's going to be interesting to watch. But the highlight of yesterday, for sure, was Majestic Reason in the 4th race. This daughter of a Majestic Warrior for Grand Motion is now 4 for 7, and boy, did she look good here yesterday.
And undefeated at 6 furlongs. How about this? And really patient ride. This was Vargas. Just got positioned to the inside. Was a little bit closer than I thought she was going to be, leaving the 3/8 pole. Shifted out about 4 to 5 wide. And look at this run. Just blows right past the leader, our Super Freak. Final 16th of a mile, 70 yards. Look at this. Just relaxed late. More in the tank. I think she's going to be a perfect 7 furlong type of runner.
It was an impressive race.
We know she's perfect at 6, but I think she's
awfully good.
Yeah, 7 to be good.
She was really, really good yesterday. And I was talking to Georgie after the race. He said, I just wanted to keep her to the outside. He thought the inside was a little deep yesterday. I don't know how you saw it, but
yes, I agree. We saw the horse even in the first race. I got a little trouble. The Gonzalez horse was Alex, and circled about 7 or 8 wide. Right. Saw a couple horses take the high and wide road and run pretty well.
And he says that's a funny filly because once she gets her eyes on other horses, she's gone and she goes now. And in the morning, you wouldn't pick her out of a field. She's not very impressive. She just lopes around. But good looking effort there for Majestic Reason. Now 4 for 7 for Grand Motion, Hillwood Stable, and Richard Gold. And we've got a carryover today in the Rainbow Pick 6, a nice little carryover of $6,244. That gets kicked off in race 5 on our 10-race card here today at Laurel Park. We also have a little action on the apron with Rosé on the rail.
There it is.
You still get tickets. If you're out there, you need something to do, come on out for Rosé on the rail. Spend the day at the races. You'll be right up on the action. Nice tent, nice seating areas. It's a nice spot out there if you want to come out and enjoy the races and maybe a rosé to go along with it. Nice event happening here today at Laurel Park. And as we said, the weather is here, the weather is clear, and here's our conditions.
Oh, perfect. Absolutely perfect. Yeah, it's maybe a slight edge. You're talking about that main track to the outside. We'll keep track of that again this afternoon, but we haven't had any real glaring biases on this Laurel surface for quite some time. I think you can ride it pretty true. Mid-80s, sunny, fast and firm. Just an absolutely perfect day for racing.
A little breeze blowing through here right now, so come on out and join us. We've got a lot of action here today, and it gets kicked off in race 1. The Super High 5 gets kicked off in race 1, and we have a little carryover going into the first race today, $1,447 in the Super High 5. And also the early pick 5 gets kicked off in the first race with the industry low 12% takeout, mandatory payout on the early pick 5, but you'll want to get involved in that. Day before yesterday, Thursday, the early pick 5 paid over $10,000 on the early pick 5 on Thursday. So another one you're going to want to get involved. They're always well bet, the pick 5s here at Laurel Park. And without further ado, let's get into this 10-race card. We got a lot to get into, and we'll get going with race 1, the first race. a claimer for $5,000 fillies and mares going 3/4 of a mile. And both you and I have the 9
Unique Humor.
Unique Humor on top. Top looking for 3 in a row for Jerry Robb.
Yeah, she's coming back pretty quick. But I tell you, the race back on July the 19th, I happened to watch that one. I think it was one of my few vacation days, and watched her just track the speed and went clear. They went fast early. She had plenty left in the tank, lost the whip. You see the short comment, ridden out. I think she's perfectly positioned outside the other main speed. Sloozer for Mary Epler. Sloozer, pretty quick in her own right. She's dropping in class. Trevor and Mary, they hooked up again yesterday with another win. How about this stat for Mary Epler? The last 30 days, 7 for 15 and 13 for 15 in the money with an ROI of 569. Doing it at Laurel, doing it at Gulfstream, Delaware. It doesn't matter. Takes the show on the road or stays home.
Stays home. She's been heating up. Yeah, I'm a little concerned about coming back on basically what is 7 days rest for Unique Humor.
Yeah.
But this one's in very, very good form. Jerry Robb, he'll win 2 in a row 25% of the time, and he's having himself a nice summer meet. Sloozer the 5. My only concern is it drops back to a favorable level.
Yeah.
There's no question about that, but it's been 8 weeks since she's seen the races and hasn't seen a work since then. So that causes me for a little bit of concern. The 8 is Shekor, and we have a stat on Shekor. Kenny Cox, I assume.
I believe she is going to go off the favorite. She runs that low 6C number, clearly better than anybody in here, and she does it for open 12.5. Why the drop? We haven't seen her since May the 12th, and that was first off the claim off of Claudio. So we don't, you got to take that into consideration. I don't want to bang on Kenny Cox too much. 0 for 10 though, with 50% claiming drops last 5 years. So it's not a huge sample, but it's significant. 3 for 10 in the money. Just from a betting standpoint, do you want to take a really short price on a horse like this with definitely a questionable drop?
Well, the questionable drop, and I always question a drop like this when the horse has run well and ran on a sloppy track and then has to take some time off. That is a concern. However, he did work this filly 3 times since then, so it's not like she hasn't been on the work tab and doing something. So that makes me feel a little bit better about Shekor. Race 1, both you and I have the 9 on top. We both play along with Shekor, the 8, and of course Jerry Robb. He's just been very good this summer with 9 Unique Humor.
Yeah, and Mighty Talk yesterday.
Another
improvement.
Big race with Mighty Talk yesterday. No question about that. Race 2, a maiden 10,000 going 3/4 on the dirt for fillies and mares. And Keith, you have the 6 on top, Miss Cinderella for Kira McGee. First off the claim, well, actually not first off the claim, but first in the barn, and also you have an early pick 4 ticket here also.
We'll get to Kieran in a second. Let's look at this early pick 4, and you can see in race 2, I'm not really sold on anybody. I'm going to throw the 6 in there as a shot. I go 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 2 and 5 in race number 3. Katarina 1, she looks like the horse to beat. So lovely on a barn change, coming off a layoff. I think she'll make a big run into it. 4th race, we're going to go in single. The 1, Mischievous Alex, coming in there, 2-year-old off of a debut win at Parks. We've got a stat for that one as well. 5th race with the 1, 6, and 10. A couple scratches out of there. The main track onlys are out, the 5 and the 7. Also scratched the 8 and the 9. The 9 was also a main track only. So there's your ticket, $15. See if we can go 2 for 2.
I like your single. I think that Mischievous Alex for John Service in the 4th is going to be very, very tough there. Second race, back to the second race, and back to your top pick.
Okay.
The 6, Miss Cinderella for Kieran McGee, and drops while adding blinkers, first time for McGee.
Yeah, laid off since October.
Lasix.
Adding Lasix. It's a 3-year-old debut here today on a barn change. It ran a 20. Not a real glaring buyer whatsoever at this lower level even. But really, how much does she have to improve? Chicken Dinner, I think she's going to be the one to beat when it's all said and done. I know a lot of plays going to go to the 4 Midnight Mass along with the 1. The 1, I like her to make a move into it. She shows me a rating gear, but there's some speed in here that's questionable. Midnight Mass, My Lily Rose, Wealtha, they're all going to go out. Yeah. Will they have the finish? I'm thinking this horse is really retooled the 6 horse, and there is definitely dirt runners, multiple dirt winners in the family. Half to Morning Fire. Now, that was a really good horse, made over $200,000 and ran in the low 90s. We're not saying she has to be anywhere near that, but just bring a little improvement. I think she can get past this field late.
Well, looking at her works, I think you're going to see some improvement because her 2 most recent works have been good, solid works, including a nice half 48 and change from the gate, that's good enough for this level.
Yeah.
If you see some improvement, and Kieran McGee's, a lot of times they will improve. We both kind of like the one chicken dinner also in this race. And when you look at this one's form, she's really never run a bad race. She's run at this level her whole career. She hasn't been the worst race she's run. She only got beat 5 lengths while running fourth, and she's coming out of the best race of her life in her last behind the next out winner in Pictorial.
Yeah, Pictorial really moved up, jumped up to a 47 in her next race. But Chicken Dinner relaxed nicely. It looked like she was home free, turning for home. I thought she was going to go ahead and go and win it, but Pictorial ran her down. Chicken Dinner, though, does show that she's got a little bit of a rating gear. She's going to need it, I think, from the inside. I don't know if she's got that true gate speed as a couple of these other horses that have drawn outside of her.
She's going to have to work out a trip if she gets outrun. She laid pretty close in her last start, and they were rolling right along, 22 and a bit of change. The 4 Midnight Mass for Charlie Frock comes in off a 10-week layoff. It shows one work, and that was 3 weeks ago. Certainly cause for concern for me.
A little bit of claim for 10, three race back out of that debut run. Eves came back to win, who just beat her last time out.
Yep.
I think it took her 2 tries after that to get the job done. But Midnight Mass, I drew the rail that day, rushed up, gotten a little bit of a bumping match there late when drifting. She's got a lot of speed. She's going to be right on the engine, I think, along with My Lily Rose and Wealtha. But the time off, like I say, the only work that concerns me a little bit.
It concerns you. And you went 4 deep in this race.
Yes,
and
I
if
did.
You're playing the early pick 4 or early pick 5, you might want to go deep in today's second here at Laurel. Third race on the card today, a 5.5 furlong turf event for fillies and mares who've not won 3 races in their career or straight 3-year-olds. And Keith, you've got the 5 on top. I've got the 5 in my exact, and we have a video on the 5 Katarina 1 for John Salzman. This is her race from June 1st.
Yeah, it didn't run too bad. 2 races back at Laurel in an allowance event, but this try was good. Was 3 deep early, got the lead, almost shook clear. Just can't hold off, feeling foxy. He ran pretty well in the dirt the other day, but I like the heart that this horse showed after getting hung out early on. Positional speed against a field that doesn't have a lot of true speed. She's got some heart. She sees it right there. A little bit of a freshening comes back, is the one to beat here for Salzman. Kind of like the elder Salzman's horse, Hip Hop. We're going to see a little bit later today.
Exactly.
It's certainly honest and made a serious improvement on the turf course.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Once she got on the turf, she's a different filly on the turf than she's been on the main track. Gets a little break, a couple works for John Salzman, and coming off of her lifetime best race, which was probably a good move. She'd never run that hard or that fast before in her life. Give her a little time, let her catch her breath, a couple nice easy works, and that gets the job done there for Katarina 1. I like her. I also like the 8. I have the 8 on top. You made it for Tim Keefe, and I like this one just because she's getting back to a level where she's had some success. Three of her last 4 races at this level were good positive efforts, and I think she can get back to that race today.
Yeah, that was a pretty solid field. I know it was a shorter field on July the 7th, but that 25-3 in life was pretty strong. Friedrich came out of that race to run yesterday. You made it. She draws outside. I think she's going to be right up with the flow of the race. Roman Holiday will probably go along with Katarina 1. Out there, that last little punch. She got a little bit even 3 races back before the claim. She finished up a little bit evenly. I just want to see a little bit more punch out of her, but this class drop should help her. The 2 intrigues me.
Very interesting.
We're going to go here. First time Super C Racing teaming up with Damon Dilladovico. He's always strong, Damon. This horse, you go back on the page, comes from a way back. That's the only issue. I think she's going to get the flow up front. I don't want to see her 10-12 out of it, turn her for home. Give me 5 or 6 lengths, and if she's in range, she's going to bring a big kick.
Well, it helps her that you have this long stretch here at Laurel Park, but she does come from way out of it. But she's her last 2 wins were from really way out of it. I mean, she's 19-20 out of it and gets the job done. Comes in here with some good works for Damon, Julio Correa, and we know he's riding very well at this point of the meet here. So we both, you've got the 5-2, I've got the 8-5 in a race 3 as we move on to the 4th here. A nice first level allowance condition for 2-year-old boys, and we're both on the 1 Mischievous Alex, and we've got a stat on the 1 Mischievous Alex.
Yeah, how about this for service? Last 3 years on the dirt, 9 for 17, 53%. And 11 for 17 in the money. 2-year-old maiden breakers. ROI of close to $4. Might as well call it $4. This horse was ready to roll June 25th at Parks. Brook from the outside was very sharp, dropped down to the inside, which usually isn't the best place to be at Parks, but took pressure, dug in tenaciously. We're going to add Lasix today. Now, there is definitely some other speed drawn to the outside, for instance, Sight of Heaven and Gifted Heart. This guy was pretty quick out of the gate. I liked his gate speed. I think I don't think he necessarily needs the lead. You get fooled sometimes in these 2-year-old races. They get out there, they just inherit the lead against some fields.
Right.
It doesn't show their true versatility. This horse is going to be okay right back for service.
I think so, and I mean, bred to be a runner. They paid $140,000 for this one out of into Mischief, out of that Spitestown mare. Ran a big, for 4.5 furlongs, ran a big number.
Yes.
77 by her speed figure that day. Comes in with some works, including sharp work on the 19th of July, minute flat.
And out of that field, Tim, Mr. Thrifty came back to run pretty well at Saratoga, ran a 60. Gravel Road aired 66 next out.
Right.
That works with this field, and the way this horse did it was well clear of those. I think that speaks volumes for the chances of the mischievous Alex.
Gets Georgie, and that doesn't hurt. We both, you have the 4, I have the 4 in my exacta. Okay. We have a video on the 4 Gifted Heart for Phil Schoenthal from her debut race.
Yeah, this is a Philly, by Super 99, he's done tremendous with these younger runners. They're hitting a lot with the debut runners. I think he's about 20%. Out of a mare, Love Heart was a 9-time winner. We like this filly first time out. So the filly's going to take on the boys today. As I said, it really doesn't matter. This is kind of year, right? They do it.
Yeah, this time of year, later in the fall, maybe it starts. But as 2-year-olds go, the fillies are a little bit more precocious. They mature a little bit quicker. Then the colts start to catch up to them. But look
at this video.
Look at this.
Yeah, she's just cruising like a Cadillac out there. Man, oh man, she just destroyed that field. Very professional in victory was Gifted Heart, and she showed a little versatility, lay off another speed type as well. Good looking filly out there on the racetrack. She can sit and make a run into it. The road's going to go through the 1 and the 4. I clearly think these are the 2 to beat. If you're looking for somebody to jump up, I think the 6, the bottom horse, So Street, certainly could. You see the short comment, said a hand ride at Pimlico, 52-1. That's nothing to sneeze about. Now coming back with Lasix, reported gelding. Some positives in the works for So Street. This horse can make a big jump second time out.
And a great draw. All the speed down toward the inside if the speed develops, and Trevor McCarthy will be able to figure it out from there. But we both have the 1, Mischievous Alex, for a John Service. Georgie Vargas rides on top in today's 4th race. A nice first level allowance condition for 2-year-olds going 5.5 furlongs.
I wanted to ask you real quick. You like the tag there of 62.5? It gives the owners a chance. You buy a horse for 30,000-40,000. You've got to put some money into it. You can take a chance if you want. Lay it in there, but it saves the condition if you're in for the tag as well.
It saves, and that's exactly what you need to do, because the last thing you want to do is with these type of horses go into your 3-year-old year and be a 2 other than, because you don't have them.
Right.
So this saves the condition if you're willing to lose a horse for 62.5, and that's still a substantial amount of money. I'm with it. I like it. I think that's the way to go, and it gives you an opportunity. With that, we're going to take a quick commercial break. When we come back, we're going to talk a little Rainbow Pick 6.
Got it.
Join us for Jim McKay Maryland Million Day on Saturday, October 19th at Laurel Park. Come with friends and family to Maryland's Day at the Races, a celebration of Maryland's horses and lots of fun for all ages. Enjoy a full day of racing, including on-track entertainment between races. Don't miss the hat contest, 3 categories and wonderful prizes. It'll be fun for all at Laurel Park, Saturday, October 19th. For more information, visit MarylandMillion.com or LaurelPark.com.
Welcome back to Today at the Races, presented by Fidelity First, and the Maryland Million commercial there. Just last year's Maryland Million, we've been to a lot of them. I thought was one of the best ones ever. It was a festive atmosphere. There was some good racing. We had the band down on the first turn, and I thought it was one of the best ever.
My daughter actually came out. She watched a little racing, but caught the band and stuff like that. But it was a big day, and we've gone through a lot of improvements within this facility. People were able to take notice of that. It was kind of a little bit almost another coming out party for Laurel Park.
It certainly was. That was a day the nice sports book opened up last fall. But let's move on to a Rainbow Pick 6. A little bit of a carryover today, $6,244. Carried over from yesterday in today's 20-cent Rainbow Pick 6, and I have a ticket, $64.80 ticket, and I couldn't find any singles that I was confident in. in today. So I went 3 deep here in the 5th, a nice 2 out of than on the turf using the 3, 6, and 10. I left the 1 taxable goods off. That makes me a little nervous for Lynn Ashby, but I had to trim, and that one got cut. Race 6, 3 deep there. Nice first level allowance race, 1, 3, 7. In the 7th, I used the 5 and the 9, another nice 2 out of than allowance race. 8th race, I only used 2 here. I think it comes down to the 2. It's a cheaper race, 2 lifetime for a nickel, but I go the 2, 3 here. 1, 4, 7 in the 9th, and in the finale, I go 3 deep there in the maiden 40.
Boom.
2, 3, and 6. $64 and 80-cent ticket. Good luck if you play along in the Rainbow Pick 6. And it should be pretty well played today.
I might have to give you like 13 or 14 bucks and take 20% of that.
There, you like that ticket?
I like the ticket. I like that ticket a lot. I would toss in maybe taxable goods.
I know.
If you could afford it.
It broke my heart.
Boy, the rest of the way down, we agree on a lot. So that might be a good thing today.
Well, you know, you pitch in, you can buy taxable
goods on the ticket. I might have to do that.
Into the ticket.
All right.
And speaking of the 5th race, 2 out of than going a flat mile on the turf course, the rail set at 35 feet. And you have the 10 on top. We have a video on the 10, Dream Doctor. I use them on my ticket, and this is from his July 5th race.
Come on, Dream Doctor. We're going to follow him again. He's finding nothing but trouble since the return from October to June. That was a horror show, June the 8th, where we stalled from the 3/8 to about the 3/16. Here we go again. You know, slower pace, 26.52 on that yielding course. And this is the day that Ghost Hunter got a great ride from McCarthy, was up on the engine. There you go. There's the steady in the check with the 1 horse at the 3/8 pole. He's just kind of ready to roll. And now he's got to kind of try to pick it back up. That's hard to do, Tim, on a softer going especially. And you're laboring a little bit. It's a little trying. This horse finally gets out to the outside. He continues well through the stretch and is going to nab the place very late. Overdo that dance. There you go. Works between horses, but Ghost Hunter just gets the jump on and was a little too good that afternoon. Draws outside today. He can just settle, drop in. Hey, going into the far turn, find a little clear run, let's circle and get it done. But he's going to this is a fairly closely matched field, and I think a lot hinges on the way this 3-horse goes up front. Your top selection, Bird's Nest Party.
Top. Yeah, I like Bird's Nest Party. But going back to Dream Doctor, look, a lot of horses have been running behind Ghost Hunter. But, you know, some horses just find trouble. And you look up and down Dream Doctor's trouble lines, and he finds trouble all the time. He just seems to me a type of horse. Don't try to save any ground on him because he's going to run you up on heels. Just keep him out in the clear, and you might have a better trip there.
I wonder if it's a situation where the trainer, they know the horse, you know, obviously a lot better than me, and you know they've been working with the horse in the morning with the exercise riders. Maybe this horse, he just feels that he needs to be covered up to a point, and he's just going to give you that one run, and you've got to trust it. Unfortunately, the last 2 times he's found some trouble. But there are some horses, you get them out in the clear, and they just flounder out there. They just never pick it up.
Yeah, for sure. But I'd be looking for a different strategy. And 3 of my last 4 races been in trouble and maybe costing the win. Bird's Nest Party, my top pick here for Michael Stidham, comes in off 2 good races, 3 good races, really. One is last at Monmouth, just got beat 2.5 lengths to Dover Cliffs, who was a stakes winner in 2017.
Yeah, you look at it, well, most of the running lines up front, but he's versatile, and the mile distance is perfect. Look at that record, 9 starts, 3 wins, 2 seconds and a third for a decent amount of coin. Yeah, I think with a clean break, he might be a little bit quicker than the 4-12 Story. Toy Story might give him some trouble up front. He's a fresh horse that's shown some speed, but I think the one is going to enjoy a perfect trip. Taxable goods. Don't want to get too ranked. Was a little rank early on when caught wide. He's going to have to settle in behind the runners, but this horse is thriving right now. This horse is doing really, really good, and he's going to get a perfect stalk and pounce kind of trip.
Horse is doing great. Last 3 races, all 3 races this year. Well, 3 of the 4 races this year have been really, really good efforts. Lynn Ashby, just one of those trainers, and she's a good friend of mine. She just kind of goes along. She's good with her turf horses. She's good with her horses in her allowance races. She hits 23%, 20%, and you can rely on her. I thought that was a big race out of Tactical Goods in that last start. 10-1 for you, 3-6. I like the 6 a little bit in here. Verboten coming back for Graham Motion. This will be second off a layoff. Decent return. Only got beat 3.5 lengths. Been off a long time, just over a year. Comes back with a couple works since that last start.
Yeah, and that's a tough trip. You see the running line there. Second behind 6, second behind 8, third behind 9. Then third behind 2 at the 8th pole. So you're doing a lot of work just to catch up. And this horse just got nabbed for the play. So a little bit more flow. If they can get a little bit of a contested pace, watch out for the run from the 6, Verboten, second time off a long layoff for Graham Motion. And Graham has been deadly. I've got a stat back there, I think, a couple weeks ago with his allowance runners going along on the turf at Laurel. It's been awfully good.
And that wasn't an easy bunch. Archigellos won a stake last year, and he beat Taxable Goods. So I got Verboten in there with Georgie Vargas. It's 10-1 for you, 3-6 for me in the 5th. 6th race kicks off the late pick 5. And no carryover. I don't believe we have a carryover in the late pick 5. Do we, fellas? No carryover from yesterday's late pick 5. But always has carryover potential.
And the 12% takeout.
12% takeout. And the late pick 5 is always so well played here at Laurel Park. So that gets kicked off in today's 6th race. We both in the 6th. This is a nice 5.5 furlong turf race, first level allowance condition for fillies and mares. And both you and I are on the 3 Classy Atlantic. Comes in here for the red hot Tom Proctor. Something happened when he came up from New Orleans. Maybe the food was a little better up here or something, but he's got on fire here. He's winning 40% here at Laurel Park.
Yes, he is. He's suddenly come alive because he was in a real lull.
He was in a real lull.
Yeah, for quite some time. And this is a situation where you got a rider like Fergal Lynch who's really good on the turf, settling back, judging pace, and timing a run. This horse was caught a little bit wide early on and just went out even wider through the stretch and just couldn't kick on. Drops in a few passes to the inside, just going to be able to save ground, I think, every step of the way around the turn before angling out. And you're going to have Hip Hop up there near the lead. Stetson Gold is pretty quick. Glittering Judy, you don't know. The blinkers come off, what she's going to do, what kind of trip Correa wants with Glittering Judy. But Hip Hop, she's the one to beat.
She's the one to beat.
I think Classy Atlantic might be able to nab her at the wire.
Hip Hop, she's just as honest as a day is long, and she's been the beaten favorite in her last 3 starts. But that's not because she's not trying. She just happened to be the beaten favorite. She tries all the way down to the wire. This is a good draw for her. The 1 hole. She can get out of there just fine. Never my favorite place to be, the 1 hole, but it is a good draw for her here today. The 7 Little Skiff coming out of her maiden breaking score. We've got a video for a Little Skiff on her race on July 11th.
Yeah, this was a good ride by Wisman. The Lasix came off that day. They tried the Lasix 2 races back after that really encouraging debut. Something went amiss. The horse was drifting, wandering all over the place, but she comes back with the Lasix off, and look at this trip. Bottled up, lacking room, past the 3/16, and finally going to find a seam here heading to the 8th pole. And I tell you, a Little Skiff responds is going to win, kind of going away by about 3 parts of a length. Look at this run. The Buyer wasn't strong, and comparatively, she was on the outer portion of the race course that day. Her final time, 58-3. On the inner that day was Hip Hop at 56-2. That's a 10-length difference almost you're looking at. But that outer part of the course was definitely softer during that little period. So take that into consideration. I know the Buyer isn't strong, but that move back with the Lasix off, she ran a 78 in debut. That might be a little bit inflated at Delaware. She's going to sit a very good trip again. I like the way she relaxed behind the speed and worked through traffic.
Well, that's one thing I've noticed this summer. The Delaware numbers haven't been holding up. They haven't been holding up. They'll get a big number. It happened yesterday with Margie's Money. Margie's Money, and she ran a fine race, but she didn't run an 82, and she'd run an 82, she could have won that race yesterday. So certainly haven't. But Little Skiff, first time against winners. I like her. I just couldn't get to her, but look, it wouldn't surprise me. She certainly has some talent. She's never run a bad race. A step up here today in today's 6th. And a other than 5.5 on the turf. 7th race, a nice 2 other than optional $35,000 race going 1 mile on the turf for fillies and mares. And you have the 3 Frippery on top for Arno Delacar. And Arno's got a couple in here. I've got Arno's other one on top. And look, you take away the race off the layoff at Monmouth Park and the race on a yielding course at Saratoga last year, this filly doesn't run a single bad race. No,
she's run well against Peach Vigal on the go back there. As a 3-year-old, Peach Vigal was running well in some stakes for Graham Motion. Pamina is graded stakes place. You see her 2 back at Delaware. Yeah, I thought she really disappointed last time. But in this race, Tim, I struggled with this race. I basically by default said, let's go for the trainer. Let's go Delacour, and hope one of the two get it done for my pick 3s, my pick 4s, and everything else that I'm going to be playing in those multi-race wagers during this period of time. I think they're very similar running styles. They can settle. Now Madame Milan comes off the layoff. But Delacour's not a trainer, kind of like a Mariupper. I'm not worried about this kind of a layoff for this horse. Going long, gets lynched. This horse will settle back. So look at some of the company that she's been a part of. Secret Message, Pamina again, Furiosa. Good horses. I think she's going to run big off the shelf. I'm going to take the proven turf trainer here in Delacour.
Yeah, I like Madame Milan. I like the fact that she's on the outside because she doesn't look like she's easy to ride. She gets herself into trouble. She sometimes gets a little rank easy. Maybe Fergal can get her to relax on the outside a little bit, and she runs herself into trouble. She simply runs herself into trouble, but maybe Fergal can work himself out a nice trip, get her relaxed on the outside. But she's got some good races on her form with some good, strong numbers. The 5, I have the 5 in my exact. I kind of broke up Delacour here, Jane Sibilli for OKK. And Jane has been really, over the past few years, very, very reliable when she brings horses down here to Laurel Park. This year, she's been a little cool. She's 0 for 5.
Yep.
The horses just haven't been running as well as they have in the past, but you just simply can never throw her out.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like the stock is quite there from what it was.
No.
Because she was probably about
She
a
was
30%
automatic.
trainer,
She
28,
was
30%
automatic.
when
Yep.
she would come in here with her turf runners. Yeah, third off a little bit of a break is okay, Kate. Like I say, there's not a lot of true speed in here. I think looking at it a little bit deeper, Elevated Vision might go coming off the sprint.
Yep.
But Frippery has that turn of foot. She might separate herself from the field, I think, leaving the 3/8 to the quarter pole. And they're going to have to run her down. And if she's not have to use that hard, OKK could be up against it because she likes to kind of come from a little bit too far back.
Yeah, it certainly comes down to the 3, 5, 9 here in the 7th at Laurel Park, 8th race. And now there's a 2 for a nickel going a 1-turn mile. And you have the 2 on top, Port Salerno for Claudio Gonzalez, a red-hot Claudio Gonzalez. By the way, over the last 2 days, he's won 25% of the races, and we got another stat on Claudio.
And we could have updated this stat because he had one in the opener yesterday, right? It was a maiden ranks drop down in the tag. But here we go. Last 3 years, 8 for 19, 42% turf to dirt with a 50% tag drop ROI. It's a positive one of 213. The thing that worries me about this 6-year-old mare is that our best race on the main track was on a wet surface. We don't have that today. But against this group with the drop, I think she's going to be somewhere mid-pack. Once again, not a lot of horses that want to go to the front here. She'll hold position with Rosales, hopefully stay out a little bit of trouble and kind of sustain a run. But I think it's a 2 or the 3. I like your top pick as well, Sweet Home Dixie.
Yeah, Port Salerno, I like this move, turf to dirt. Claudio's 34% when he does makes this move. And Victor Rosales and Claudio Gonzalez, they've been heating up.
Yes, they have.
I mean, look, if you're riding for Claudio Gonzalez, he spots his horses well, and if you can ride a little bit, you're probably going to find the winner's circle. But Victor's been making good decisions and finding the winner's circle for Claudio, so I like that combination. Sweet Home Dixie, back to the main track for the first time since he ran. She ran her lifetime best race last November at a 1-turn mile right here where she fired a good number, and that would be good enough to get it done here today.
Her 2 best races at the mile on the main track. You look back as a 2-year-old, Helen, No More Late, they were okay horses at the time.
Call Me Jelly Roll was good at the time.
Yeah, this is an interesting little, I'd call it a give up, a slight give up on Sweet Home Dixie. But against this group, I think they mean business. Gorey says, he spots his horses well, talks to his he doesn't waste any time. He wants to win races and win them at a good clip. Sweet Home Dixie or Port Salerno, these are the 2 to beat.
And this is probably where she belongs. They gave her a shot on the turf. It didn't have no marked improvement. Okay, let's see if we can win and win at this level. And if she can, well, she's going to have a nice career at this type of level. And a win's going to get her confidence back up also. So 3-2 for myself, 2-3 for Keith in today's 8th race. 9th race, a mile and 16th for 3-year-olds and up, $16,000 claiming tag. And Keith, you have the 7 on top, Electro for Claudio Gonzalez. We have a video spotlight on Electro from his start on June 14th.
Yeah, June 14th. Is that the one we've got? Right. We're going to show this one again. We showed it last time. Everybody's going to get tired of watching this movie, the same old Electro.
The same old movie.
The one horse at the steadying, checking, steadying, checking. You see the comment. Brutal trip, 3/8 to the 8th pole. Stuck down there in a blue cap, blue blinkers. Look at the steadying again down towards the rail.
Yeah.
taken up.
This was bad.
I don't have enough bad comments to talk about this horse.
Well,
She's just an awful, awful trip at $1.50 to 1. Came back and shortened up. I really thought he could make a strong run from off the pace. He didn't really kick in like I thought, but back out to the mile and 16th distance. And the way this barn has kind of turned around the last couple of weeks, Electro, I think, wears him down.
And didn't get away well sprinting in the last start. Was over a course that was rated good. Most of his best races have been on a firm turf course. I stayed away from Electro. I didn't use him.
Okay.
And the reason I didn't use him is when it comes to the jump ball and Claudio's turf horses, if it's jump balls with other horses, I leave them off.
Okay.
And then this week, Claudio up and wins two turf races in one day, and things are starting to turn around. So now I'm like, yeah, maybe you shouldn't have done that. We both like the 4 a little bit high society. If you're Marilyn McMullen, I have this one on top. Victor Rosales rides 3 big races and stays at the level.
Yeah, he's another one. He finds himself way back a lot of times, and he made a strong run. Go back and watch that video from July the 7th. Closed a ton of ground when able to cut the corner into the stretch. Where's the flow? Where's he going to get it from? I like the way Jericho Marsh changed tactics last time to get the job done. He's hung outside. Does he kind of quite have the speed of a Seattle Rick? Seattle Rick, I don't have on my ticket. You've got him. I'm going to throw him underneath. I think he's going to take this field quite a ways, but I worry about the 9 ride, the ride of the sunset for Hugh McMahon and Trevor. I think they're going to keep him honest up front. I'm looking for closers in here. I think the race is going to kind of come back. The speed's going to come back. High Society, Electro to rally into, and even Junipero Avenue, who should sit a perfect trip. Positional speed, 10 posts, 7 posts, back to the inside.
Back to this level.
Needs to bring a little bit more finish. I don't know if he's quite that final kick to the likes of High Society or Electro, but he certainly might get the jump on them because of his tactical edge.
Yeah, Seattle Rick is a little scary if this one gets out to the front and might be able to take him all the way with Xavier Perez and Jerry Robb. On to the 10th and final, a maiden 40 going 5.5 furlongs. On the main track for maiden fillies, 2-year-olds. And you have the 6 on top, maybe an omen for Cal Lynch, and why not? There's very few better with their first-time starters here in Maryland, and then Cal Lynch. And out of the mare, Dam Reen, and she was 1 for 14, but the second dam, she was a stakes winner.
Yeah, second dam stakes winners, 3 winning siblings. You got the jockey-trainer combo. You've got a debut winner within the family. The percentage of this barn with the 2-year-olds with the first time, it's just too strong. I really do. I fear the 2, though. Rapid Ash Queen. I'm just sticking with the percentages here, but Rapid Ash Queen scratched out of was entered in a turf race, I should say. We're going to come back on the dirt here and get the waiver by Tri-Tap. 27% with the first-time starters. Now, it wasn't a huge sample, but it was good enough. And I've got another stat. 18% is Jerry Robb off of these 5/8 bullets as well. Yeah. So this horse is working forwardly, kin to some horses that I think ran pretty big early on. Pikachu Princess.
Yeah, Pikachu Princess.
Might be in there as well. So definitely fear the 2 as well. 6-2-2-6.
Clearly fast. The 8, always something. We got a video spotlight on the 8 for Val Testament. I didn't think this was a horrible debut at the end of the day.
No, when you break it down and you look at the internals, Tim, 22-4, 45-4. And this horse took a little bit of play into a pretty solid field. 11-1 for Valora Testament. Usually say, the barn doesn't run a lot. Oh, this horse will immediately go off 20, 25-1 in this kind of spot. Did not, and is caught up in between horses. Landing zone didn't run, ran okay on the drop yesterday, but this horse took the heat. It was caught in between horses. The favorite got the best trip, Miss J. McKay, and that buyer coming back was 63. That's strong for that kind of maiden 40 race, Tim. You know that.
Yep.
You run upwards in those lower 60s, mid-60s. That's running for these 2-year-old fillies. She's hanging her in there for quite some time. I like the way she just kind of not really just giving in. She's chasing. She's trying hard. She's got a good draw to the outside. That experience could take her even further this afternoon.
That's funny you say that because that's exactly what I have written on my notes, education of her last start. And, Val Tasman doesn't really get them really ready first time out, doesn't win a lot of first time out, but probably needed that race, got valuable experience today, and could show up in Laurel Park's finale. That's going to do it for us. We're out of time.
All right.
And a nice 10-race card here today. We got Rosé on the rail. We got a nice carryover in the Rainbow, pick 6, low takeouts in our pick 5s. Come on out and join us. It's going to be a great day. Weather's perfect. Come on out.
Got the Preakness runner running today, right?
Sorry?
We got the Preakness runner. War of Will?
War of Will.
Up in
Yes,
New York today.
up in
Yeah,
New York,
so you've got that as well.
Yeah,
so,
we've got some simulcast action
yeah.
to take on in, so come on out and join us.
You got it. Good luck.